Okay, another 52 nugget coming at you. I might just start calling these nuggets. And by the way, if you noticed in some of the videos, I got new glasses so I can see better. And hopefully they make me look a lot smarter. Okay, so in this nugget, we're gonna be talking about 5 key areas to focus on to have a successful F&I department. And they're really high level areas that you wanna keep a focus on. Sometimes in our office, we call them the ultimate few as far as the main things we're looking at. These are 5 things that you're gonna wanna definitely have under control and be focused on in your department, right? Otherwise, you're not gonna have a successful department. So, number 1, and I bet some of you out there can guess this, but it's control finance in the sales department. And I'm not gonna go into lists of what to do on each of these topics. Some of that's covered in some of our other videos, or we can talk in person, or you call us, whatever you wanna do. We can talk about ideas to do this. Some of you already have a few and you just need to implement them. But you can't run an amazing or a high-performing F&I department without controlling finance, period, end of story. It's number 1. There are a lot of different things you can do to help improve that. And like I said, go through other nuggets and start thinking ideas, game plan, and do whatever. We just recently did some ideas on how to improve finance control at your store. Okay, just remember this on finance control. The average finance manager makes at least $1,000 more per unit on finance deals versus cash deals. That's a big difference. And if you're a top performer, that's the average guy, or gal. If you're a top performer, then it's gonna be a bigger difference. If you're in the RV industry, then it can be substantially higher on that, especially depending on the types of units you sell. The point is there's a huge difference between cash deals and finance deals, and not just the F&I manager, but everyone at the store should make a culture of finance and control the finance so we can have an excellent F&I department. Number 2, pick a good mix of products. So what we do is we have 7 criteria we think you should look at when considering an F&I product to offer in your office. We look at these criteria when people are always soliciting us, like, you need to offer our product to the dealerships out there. We're very stingy on who we work with, and here's the quick list of what we go through to make sure the product is the right one. It works for us, it would work for you too. A, make sure it's a strong administrator. If the people answering the phones are not amazing at what they do, don't do business with them. It's just gonna cause you heat and problems. So make sure the administration company is amazing. 2, strong insurance. Unless there's a big, strong insurance company backing them and the policies are written correctly, which gets complicated. There's not like stopgap policies or limits of liability or aggregates or whatever. Just day one, $1 coverage with a company with billions of dollars. So no matter what happens, everyone's covered is critical. So make sure you're with a really strong insurer. 3, good actuarial data. That just simply means, like, on new products that come to the market that we have no data, don't know how they're gonna perform, you wanna be really careful, because if they go upside down or underwater in our business and they're losing money, those companies can just go out of business or pull the plug on them, and then you have a lot of heat cases on your hand. So make sure that the product has good actuarial data, a good history, we know how it's gonna perform, where it should be priced at, things like that. Also make sure that the company you're working with has a lot of actuarial data. Like, they've been doing this a while, they have access to an insurer that does, and they know what's going on. So they write it the way it should be written, and it covers what it should, and it stays around for a long time. Next one is customers want the product. So make sure your customers in your market, it's a really good product. People want it. Like in the Midwest, especially the Hail Belt, a windshield's a great product. People buy a ton of windshield. In fact, so much, and the claims are so high that it's hard to keep that product in our market. So the demand is really high. Then if you took the same market, like we're in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska as headquarters, and nobody steals cars around here. I don't think I've ever even heard of somebody stealing a car around here. So why would we sell etch? It wouldn't make sense at our dealership. Just make sure it's a product that your customers want to have. Next is good margins. Make sure you can make some money on this. You know, if you can't make any money on it, it doesn't make any sense. So there's a lot of good margin products in our industry right now. You've got warranties, and you got Gap, and you got Bundle, and even Enviro. There's a lot of good options, even windshield. So just make sure it's a good margin product for you, or high volume. Next one would be a retention aspect. This is really big for us. If the product you're offering has some kind of a mechanism that drives the customer back into your store, that's huge. It's a really important product. Service contracts do that amazing. Lifetime programs do, maintenance programs. There's all kinds of products that have a retention aspect that gives them a higher score. And the last thing is it's strong coverage, no heat. Make sure that whatever you're offering customers gives them a good value and it does what it says it's gonna do, and the contract's written well. We want stuff that's designed to pay claims, not stuff that's designed not to pay claims. So just make sure it's a really solid contract and there's not gotchas in there that are gonna upset your customers. The most successful F&I departments are only offering 3 or 4 products in F&I. The days offering 8, 9, 10, 6, 7, whatever, they don't make any sense. Maybe you can offer 5, sometimes 6. I'd start to shy away from that. You see better results with 3 to 4 products. That also might mean you're front loading a product and the sales department selling it, like Enviro or something. But keep that in mind. Just find the best products that work for you in your market and focus on those, okay? Next thing, 3, you have to have a solid process in F&I, and you have to stick to that process. Top performers follow process, procedure, and best practices. They don't wing stuff. They know why they're doing what they're doing, and they keep doing. They repeat it over and over. So here's some ideas you can consider when thinking about and working on your process. Really quick bullet points. 1, make it simple. If it's too complex and crazy, you're never gonna get it done. For you Husker fans, think about some of the recent errors we've had in football when nobody knew what was going on the defense or offense because it's too complicated. Make your plan simple. Which ties into the next one is make it repeatable. It's got to be something that you can do over and over and you're willing to do over and over, you know. Some of the training early on in my career was a 10-minute statement on how great everything was and it was horrible. No one ever wanted to do that particular part of the process, so they didn't. I've been in situations where we're training them to do videos and people hated that. Make sure that you like your process, it's simple and it's repeatable so you can keep doing it over and over. Make sure it's effective. If the stuff you're doing isn't providing you good results, then assess it and find out what the people that are doing are getting good results and change that behavior. So make sure it's effective, you're getting results, profitability. Also, good CSI. If your process is pissing people off or causing problems or heat cases or bad CSIs, you aren't gonna last. So you might as well find something that keeps your customers happy. We're just in an era where CSI actually matters, and that's a good thing. So make sure it's a good process for the customers. And the last thing is fast. Speed is critical in F&I. Now don't confuse yourself that you just want to bomb through it in 60 seconds because that's not going to do you any good. But when it comes time to work with a customer, make it efficient and fast and go through the stuff right away with them and don't waste time on a lot of different things that are invaluable to you and your customer. Okay, next is 4 in the topics. You want to track, analyze, and manage your data. If you aren't using F&I software to manage your department by analytics, you should be. Top performers are managing their departments daily by keeping an eye on their numbers daily. And they're doing these things as well with these numbers. They do monthly reviews with their management team. And they sit down, they talk about what's working, what's not, they assess and they adjust for next month. They also do training and coaching with their sales staff, and that's a one-on-one type setup. So they go work with them one-on-one, and they do weekly group meetings. They're taking all this data, all this information, and keeping everyone up to speed on what's going on. So it's weekly meetings with the entire sales staff, it's one-on-ones periodically, at least monthly, and it's at least monthly meetings with your management team. And then you should be looking at this stuff daily so you can keep a pulse on what's going on in your department. And number 5 would be coach and train your sales staff. So 4, I kind of blended into 5, but 4 is collecting the data, analyzing and understanding it. 5 would be coaching and working with people on this. You can't be a top performer in F&I if you aren't spending time helping and coaching your sales staff, bottom line. As mentioned earlier, you should be meeting with them in group formats weekly and at least monthly one-on-one coaching. So again, let's recap the 5 points. 1, control finance at your dealership, huge. 2, pick a good product mix for your department that works in your market. 3, have a solid F&I process. 4, analyze and manage your analytics or numbers. And 5, coach and train your sales staff on all this information. If you focus on these 5 areas, you are gonna see your performance improve. Have a great day.